Hey y'all, today we're going to continue looking at the women's semifinal from the 2019 USAU National Championship, and we're going to be looking at this junk zone being run by Fury here. So this is the first time they've run it in this game, and we can note a few things here. So one, they're playing person defense downfield. So you have two person marks here, so Grignon Tomas is going to be the active player in this set play. And that is the Brute Squad player right here, Grignon Tomas. And you have Hoffman also being an active player in this set play, being marked by, I believe that's Griffith there. And then you have two other Fury players up top here, waiting to pick up, who I believe is Malinowski. I believe that's Schwam. I can't really tell in this shot here. But they're going to start playing person defense on these four downfield players. In the handler set, what we have here is we have a kind of a three-person junk zone to take up space. Now, the idea of this is that you have three players kind of connected in this triangle here, and they're trying to stop what Brute Squad wants to do in that first movement, which is to take up a bunch of yards. Typically, that's the purpose of set plays, to chunk yardage out to get down the field and get your offense moving. What Fury seems to be looking to do here is to stop Brute Squad from gaining quick yardage. And they're having someone sit in the middle here, right here, a mark that is flat, and then a third handler defender who is playing a bit off the mark, not playing hard defense onto that dump, but floating into that space, again, forcing Brute Squad backwards. What we're going to see here is this is going to actually come down to Hoffman, who's going to come and get the disc here, and then the play just works. Their junk zone works. It stops them from getting the disc moving, and Fury eventually actually get the turn and the break on this point. So let's watch and see what happens. Hoffman comes down, gets the disc. Grignon Tomas is cut off. And now Fury has transitioned out of the zone and into person defense. And we're actually going to stop there and move on to the next point from here, and we'll see what Fury does in the rest of this half as we go throughout. All right, so we're picking up 2 points later. After Fury got the break, they ran a straight zone defense and got another break to bring it to 2-3, a point up. And they are pulling again to Brute Squad and running that exact same jump look. And as they get set, we'll look and see what happens. So what Brute Squad is trying to do here is they're trying to isolate players into this space right here. You're going to see two cuts come into the space, one there that's going to be shut down, and then Cami Groom is going to come and make another cut. Well, she's going to slip, and then they're going to continue working in the backfield there. But because they're trying to attack this space right here, and we have our junk set right here, that throw isn't open. We have our top of the set right here really taking away anything that's going to go in this space. We're a little bit more central, so this mark is forcing a sideline, and then same thing, we have our third defender playing upfield a little bit, taking away space. So we have what is essentially, again, a cup that is setting up on the mark and in the backfield, while you can see only one defender has made it down at this point in time, but you'll see the Fury defenders play person defense as it goes on. So let's take a look and see what happens here, and then we'll actually stop a little bit further into this point, and we'll see what Brute Squad actually starts to realize and do to get around this defensive scheme here. One cut, shut down. Cami Groom slips a little bit, shut down again. The disc swings over to Caitlin Lee, and then they've really taken away all the options so far to this point. Now what's going to happen is Caitlin Lee is going to get wise to what Fury is trying to do. Caitlin Lee being right here. She's going to get wise to what Fury is doing, and she is going to take off straight down the sideline as fast as she can. And what that is actually going to do is it's going to take the Fury defender with her. So this isn't a thing that Fury is doing to hold through the whole point. They're going to eventually break down into this into person defense. But to break them out of this quicker, we have that streaking cut going deep. And Brute Squad does eventually score this point here and starts to recognize what this defensive scheme that Fury is running. So let's go ahead and watch and see what happens. There you go, Caitlin Lee streaking down. The Fury defender goes with her, and then Brute Squad can get into their normal offense. A little bit of a stoppage there, and then we'll skip ahead and see what happens next. All right, so we're gonna pick it up again here. 2 points later, after a Brute Squad hold and a Fury hold, Fury is gonna come down once more, trying to run that exact same junk zone set, and we're gonna take a look at what Brute Squad is doing to force them out of that set. So we're going to take a pause right here as we start to look. So we can see again, we have our handler defenders rushing down to set up that junk set. But what they're not going to be able to do is set it up because of what Brute Squad has done and what they've set up in this play. So what we're going to see our two Brute Squad handler set players. They're going to clear into the sideline and clear out of that space. And Hoffman is going to come straight down and receive the disc right around here. And what Brute Squad has done is essentially what Caitlin Lee recognized in the previous point, is they've taken those defenders, and by moving the handlers out, they have made those defenders that are supposed to be sitting in that space go with them because there's a junk set downfield, because other players in that downfield space are marking person to person. And you're going to see that the field automatically opens up much more. We're going to get a lot more space for players to work with and work in here. So let's go ahead and hit play and see how this happens. So we have our two handler cut up into space. Hoffman comes down and receives the disc, and we have so much more room to work with here. So much more room that now is not being taken away by Fury defenders. We have a stoppage of play here, a foul called and upheld, and we're going to scoot forward a little bit more and to see what happens towards the later part of this half. All right, so we're picking it back up again. 2 points later, another Brute hold, another Fury hold, and one more time we're going to see Fury set up this defense, and this time we're going to get it to actually work a little bit more again. So we're going to pause it right here. So a few things that Brute isn't doing in this point that they did in the last point. So we have, again, our Fury defenders coming down in our triangle here. And what we're going to have upfield is we're going to have the Fury host stack is going to clear upfield, and then they're going to try to work to an under cutter coming into this space. But because Fury is running that junk zone, it's not going to be as effective. So we have, again, some handlers who are back here as well, who aren't clearing out and taking over that space. We're actually going to see them move backwards, probably about 5 to 7 yards before they get a really, really big chunk of yardage. So I'm not sure if this is something that Brute Squad talked about in terms of another way to beat this defense, because it ends up being pretty effective in the long run. They get a really big chunk of yardage as they've kind of spread out that Fury defense. But it's going to take them a little bit longer, and it's going to be a little bit more riskier because they haven't forced those defenders setting up that junk set right here. Again, they haven't forced those defenders out of the play. So let's press play and watch what happens here. So again, we have our players clearing. We have a swing around back, but that doesn't really break down that junk zone. It's going to take them a little bit longer to get. They've moved back about 7 yards at this point, and then a really good find to a defender about 30 yards downfield. And a couple of really good plays and throws here. So we'll watch this one a little bit longer, but then we're going to fast forward to another point in this game, the last point in the half, to see what happens. Great catch by Grignon Tomas there. All right, so we're picking up the game back here at 7-6. Brute has managed to get a few breaks, and this is the point for half. So if Brute Squad can score this point, they take it to half. And we're going to see how they've fully adapted to handle this rush set from Fury. So here comes the pull. And as you can see, as we're coming in, what we're going to see again is that same set. Our handler rush here is coming down pretty quickly. But what Brute Squad isn't going to do, which hampered them in the previous Fury defensive point and their previous offensive point, is they're not going to sit handlers back behind the disc at all. They're not going to have people into that space and allowing our rush set to remain in that form, taking up a bunch of space. What we're actually going to see is all these players. We're going to have something similar as before. Grignon Tomas and Hoffman are both going to make up and clearing cuts, and you can already see it developing here. Malinowski is going to make a huge mountain cut up the field and go out of your screen and receive the disc back under somewhere around here. So we can see, we'll see these are our handler sets back here. They're going to work up and push all the way upfield. So this arrow is drawn kind of poorly. They're going to keep pushing up. They're not going to stop here. They're going to keep pushing up. So that allows, or that forces those Fury defenders to peel off and take the defenders, or take the Brute Squad players as they're forcing up the field, because there's person offense downfield. So we're gonna let this play, and we're gonna actually watch this whole point, because Brute Squad does a really terrific job maintaining possession and scoring this point and taking it to half. You can go Malinowski takes off deep. Those handlers are pushing up. Hoffman and Grignon Tomas have cleared. Here she comes again, getting a huge chunk of yardage after pulling those Fury defenders out. We're going to hit double speed to speed it up a little bit here. Warfleet, patient with the disc, swings it to Synchrope, playing a little bit of a two-person game. A stoppage here. Resolves fairly quickly. Swing off the front of the stack. Now Synchrope is going to make this little MJ cut, and Warfleet is going to do a similar thing as he comes down. And then we're going to get another stoppage here, and then you're going to see a really nice movement off the front of the stack here. You're going to have Malinowski kind of clear out, as well as I think that's Tajima right there. He gets the swirl back to Warfleet, and nice movement off the front of the stack to get it to Synchrope for the half. Great point. And you can see within what Brute Squad has done here, how they were able to take what Fury was giving them, and they were able to manipulate it in a way that makes their offense easier, makes it a little bit more advantageous. So let's watch it from the beginning here one more time, so we can see just exactly how Brute is thinking about using the space on the field and taking the defense that Fury is sending their way and using it to their advantage. All right. Pull goes up. Centers to Warfleet, and then you can see everyone pushes upfield. No one stays behind. They're making those defenders come with them. Malinowski gets huge chunks of yards into the space that they want to attack. A great way to manipulate the defense and use what you're being given.